all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the back.
See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait.
Looking, throwing in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with Josh Silverberg and Eric Bowe. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on! Yeah, game on!
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday to all of you. You are listening and watching us live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, as well as on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. I'm going to try to remember this, worldwidesportsradio.com. Apple Podcast, Speedy. It's been a couple weeks.
Not for live streams, but it'll be up.
Okay, it's been a couple of days. I'm just trying to put the link in now. Whoopsies, I should have done this sooner. Again, this is Game On, of course. I'm your host, Josh Silverberg. My co-host, Eric Bowe. He is out tonight. Family emergency that he has to deal with, so he is attending to that. But again, we'll still have a great show for you. Lots to get into. We'll talk about the NFL Combine, which really, when you think about it, it's nothing even about the Combine. It's all about the rumors that are happening and circulating in regards to Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers trying to go to the Giants. Right, Speedy? Would you want that? You want Aaron Rodgers on the Giants? Oh, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? That'd be great. What else is there that's happening that we'll get into tonight? In regards to baseball, right? The Mets, a little bit of a pitching issue now, but listen, not worried yet. It's not March. When March happens, when April happens and everything like that, and they have nothing to have going on for them, then I will worry at that moment. Until then, I am not fully worried about the New York Mets yet, but we will get to other things that are going on in regards to the world of Major League Baseball. And then, of course, we will discuss the life and career of Al Trautwig, who did unfortunately pass away a couple of days ago at the age of 68. I mean, it's not meant to be a somber show tonight, but of course, as Arrow was playing around with things during my show. Wow, that sounds amazing, by the way. In regards to obviously the news that has happened, what was it, yesterday? I believe we got the unfortunate, sad news about the death of Gene Hackman, who, of course, one of the great actors passing away yesterday, him, his wife, and his dog as well. Very weird situation that has transpired in the last day or so. And when you think of Gene Hackman, you think of a couple of things, right? Of course, we think of Hoosiers, which Speedy and I have a little treat for you at the end of the show, which will play something a little bit at the end. We think of him playing Norm Dale, the head coach. You think of him in Crimson Tide. You think of him in the movie Unforgiven. You think of him in The Birdcage. A lot of great performances that Gene Hackman did. Of course, the funny ones, right? The Replacements. Of course, a lot of sports fans like to think of that movie. And, of course, Hoosiers. But Gene Hackman is one of the great actors that a lot of us have ever gotten to see. It's a very weird thing that happened, and how this happened, we don't know specifically the cause of death. That's why we're not going to say anything. But we did want to send thoughts and prayers and condolences, of course, to him and his family and everything like that. Great actor, wonderful performer, won a lot of Academy Awards. So I wanted to start the show with a little respect there as well. The football news that's happening, right? Football, the season's over. We heard Travis Kelce's coming back. Not surprised. But now the big news that's coming out is Matthew Stafford. And the question is, where is Matthew Stafford going to go? And he really, right now, from what I've read, has two options. I mean, listen, there was a fight in a Starbucks yesterday between Ian Rappaport and Jordan Schultz, saying we need to talk. No, we don't need to talk. We have a problem. And then Adam Schefter posted the funny tweet today that said, keep your head on a swivel. And it's the girl at Starbucks with the two little things holding her head up. So that was pretty unique in his own way. But the report came out that Tom Brady met with Matt Stafford at a ski lodge in Montana. Ian Rappaport says they ran into each other. I don't know how you can just run into each other in Montana in a ski lodge. But besides that, the report is that the Las Vegas Raiders and the New York Giants are the two teams that are trying to get Matt Stafford. If the Los Angeles Rams, which I don't know why they would want to do this, are the ones who want to give get Matthew Stafford. And I find it very odd in the sense of why the Rams would want to trade him in the first place. Now, I know the cap situation is tough. I understand they have guys. Listen, Cooper Kupp is also on the trade block. We understand that whole situation and that whole scenario. But my thought process and thinking is, well, the Rams gave the Eagles a run for their money and almost beat them in Philadelphia in the divisional round and had a chance to do it. So I don't know why, if you're the Rams, you would want to trade Stafford. I understand he's 37 years old. You don't want to give him a $60 million cap contract. And then you also have Stafford's explanation, which is, hey, listen, I've won a Super Bowl. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. I want to get paid now. And then you also have the baggage that is Matthew Stafford's wife, who doesn't shut up on her podcast and complaining all the time about certain things. So the Rams are in a situation where now the Cooper Kupp is on the trade block and now Matt Stafford's on the trade block, and they need to figure out which route do you want to go. And the options are not ideal. Let's be frank with each other. The Las Vegas Raiders and the New York Giants, neither one of those situations are great. The Raiders, to me, obviously you have Tom Brady as the owner there. You think you're on the right track. No state tax. You don't have to deal with that. Warm weather. And then you have the Giants. You got Malik Neighbors. They're trying to build something. We'll see what the last legs of Brian Dable and Joe Shane have. Maybe you draft a quarterback, a Shedeur Sanders, or I doubt Cam Ward gets to him at 3, or and you let him sit for a year behind Matthew Stafford. But to me, the situation that I have with the way this whole thing is being portrayed is if you're Stafford, you need to understand what you're getting yourself into. You're getting yourself into an organization, either one of them, that are in the rebuilding process stage. And that, to me, I don't understand why he would be interested in that. I know you want to get paid. You want your money. You've earned it. But my thinking is, well, you were so close to beating the future crowned Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Now you want to leave and go to the Giants or the Raiders. And what situation does that make your career any better? Yes, you won a Super Bowl. Yes, you're going to go to the Hall of Fame. You did a lot of great stuff. But remember all those bad years in Detroit? That's what you're going to get yourself into. You're not going to take the Raiders to the playoffs. You're not taking the Giants to the playoffs. You're not going to do that. Because you look at the division that the New York Giants are in, you're dealing with 3 quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, and Dak Prescott. I mean, Dak is okay, I guess. But you're dealing with those 3 quarterbacks. And those 3 teams also have a lot more talent than your team does. So I just don't find the New York Giants situation to be that sexy and attractive for Matthew Stafford to want to go there. And then as far as the Raiders go, listen, you're not getting to the playoffs when you have the Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Texans, all these teams, the Bengals when they get healthy, there's not going to be a spot for the Raiders to make the playoffs. So, and there's nobody even to throw the football to. So if you're Matthew Stafford, are you really going to leave the situation that you're in? I understand you want to get paid. But you need to also have the forefront and knowledge to say to yourself, boy, these are my last few years. Do I want to make them pleasant, or do I want to be miserable on garbage teams and rebuild situations and just be a bridge quarterback? And then you have the Aaron Rodgers scenario where nobody is interested in Aaron Rodgers. And why would they be? Now, Rodgers didn't have a terrible year last year when you look at the numbers, but when you see the highlights, it wasn't pretty. The pocket presence is not there anymore. The mobility is not there anymore. The arm strength, to me, he's lost it. I just don't see a team that's willing to, unless it's on like their last opportunity, to really have an understanding of where they are in their franchise. Why would you want to deal with the headache of Aaron Rodgers? You're going to deal with the Pat McAfee show every single week, the drama that he brings in the media, the situation that he's going to bring to the attention. I just don't think it's worth it for a team to want to deal with that right now. Take it from a Jet fan that dealt with that the last 2 years. It was a disaster. He didn't make it any better. So my scenario would be, he's trying to gouge interest from all these teams around the league, and it makes no sense. And I don't know why he would want to have the interest in it in the first place. Did we get a new speaker thing, Speedy? It sounds good.
You'll have to ask him.
It sounds great.
It sounded like what he was trying to do.
Sounds wonderful. Well, if Errol hears it, it sounds wonderful. But, Speedy, you being a Giant fan, really quickly, your quick thoughts, Stafford and Rodgers gouging interest. Any initial thoughts to that whole situation?
I don't know of any quarterbacks that have really saved the Giants in their current state. The Giants' offensive line is too much of a mess for any not mobile quarterback to do anything. If the price is low for Stafford, whatever, but I'm not touching Rodgers.
I just want to let you know you walked in Arrow March. It sounds great. Kudos to you. See? So there you go. But in everything like that,
I think you need to speak so I can hear it.
He wants to hear you.
Oh, he wants to hear me.
He wants to hear you.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll elaborate more on the Giants. So the Giants are not one of those teams that are one player away, especially on offense, by any means. The offensive talent outside of Malik Neighbors and Andrew Thomas is murky at best. And that's not trusting any of these younger offensive linemen that they signed in the offseason. Schmitz, maybe there's a shot, but again, it's not. Tracy's okay, fine, but you're not dealing with anything. If the price is really low for Stafford where it gets so toxic with that relationship, maybe take a flyer, but I don't think it's going to get that bad.
No, but I don't understand why would Stafford want to even.
I don't think he's getting traded anyway. But
why would he want to go to a situation in the Raiders with the Giants where neither one of them he's going to get them to the playoffs? So that's the part I don't understand. He literally, the Rams had the best chance to beat the Eagles in the playoffs and almost did, and he's like, I'm out. But is it also because they're trading Cooper Kupp, the Rams? Is it because they're trying to accumulate assets because they don't have any because they traded everybody away? Is it really his wife that's a pain in the butt because she doesn't shut up?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole – we're all over the place for different things. And then you have the stuff coming out of the combine, and that is the whole quarterback conundrum that we have every year. Is it Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, blech.
That'd be worse than trying to go after Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
I'm fine with that scenario.
Second round pick.
No, that's what I mean. I'm not taking third, of course.
I mean, Cam Ward's the only one I would go after, and even I'm still on the fence with it. But I don't know how you feel about Cam Ward.
No, he's safe, but he's not. Will they say
I'm not trading
I don't
the
know.
farm for him, like the Jets are rumored to be wanting to do, possibly.
I heard that, so
I'm not trading 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 4th-round pick for that. They need all the picks they can get. You're trying to build a culture here. That's not building a culture. You're putting a quarterback in a spot that's not going to make him successful. But be it as it may, I really just, in my humblest opinion, I think the Jets need to stay pat. They have a lot of quarterbacks coming out next year. One with the last name Manning.
It's probably going to be a Saint. That's the whole scripted scenario.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, look, his grandfather was for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I just don't think if you're the Jets, you're not in a position to trade your entire future for the number 1 pick. I think you need to build a culture around it. I understand Cam Ward could be a Jaden Daniels. I understand that, but
Maybe.
To me, it scares me as a fan to think, oh wow, we're gonna trade this, and this, and get back what? We get the 1 pick, and if the pick flops, then you're set back again for another 5 years, 8 years possibly to get over that. So I don't know. But to me, I always find, and I know the combine really starts tomorrow.
It started today for the defensive linemen, the interior guys, but
the combine is do you find the combine to be just silly at times?
Well, yeah, it's not the entire metric.
Do you want to know who the king of the combine is?
The king of the the punter that benched more than the defensive lineman that one.
No, no, you know who the king of the combine is? Vernon Golston. He was. That's the reason why he got picked in the top 6 because of that combine.
Jets legend.
That is literally the reason he got picked in the top 6 because of that combine. He had one of the greatest combines in the history of football, and the Jets picked him. And I was like, I remember watching. I was in Tampa at the time on vacation watching it with my parents. I was like, oh god, it was not as bad as the Christian Hackenberg 2nd round pick when I was in my brother's bachelor party for that.
Oh,
but that was.
See, yeah, at least
I saw that one flop in the moment they did it.
See, at least you had enough. At least you had enough drinks to make you forget about that.
Oh, I remember I had 3 or 4 scenarios. I'm like, they're gonna go this, and then they take Hackenberg, and I went, what? The guy that can't throw the ball accurate? That's the kid they went with. He never even played a game in the NFL. Never even played a game. Really, I mean, I always find the combine just to be such a silly, just an overrated thing. I mean, it's like guys are running fast. Great, congratulations. Like, who cares? To me, do I find any of it to be helpful or useful? Not really. But what do I know, right, Speedy?
It's tiebreakers of athletic grades is mainly what you're looking at.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
the prospects are not going to.
Is it the big thing? Instead of watching a player in a t-shirt and shorts, you want to see him in game action in the pads?
No, of course, but I think it's mainly just like, all right, here is 1st round pick number 1 and top 10 pick number 2, and if one of them has a faster range in particular events, maybe that tackle or that defensive lineman would go first. Is mainly the time.
I just view it as, to me, I don't see a benefit in it. I mean, there are literally fans that will sit there the whole weekend and just sit there and watch on NFL Network. And they'll sit there and watch it. And they're watching guys just run. And I'm just like, what are we watching?
Or they're watching Zach Wilson throw the ball a ton.
Oh, yeah, they're watching Zach Wilson throw from his back leg, off-shoulder throw. And it's like, whoop, that's it, number 2 pick, even though he has no pads on or nothing on and everything like that. It's great.
Yeah, speaking of the NFL Combine, a guy that likes some college football, we have Jeff on the phone.
Oh, you think I'll be able to hear him? That's the question.
You want my headphones?
Oh, no, I hear him. What's up, man?
How dare you defame Jets legend Christian Hackenberg?
I mean, at least I was kind of tipsy drunk when that pick happened, so it made it a little bit better.
I mean, I'm a Jets guy now, so.
Oh, yeah, big time,
Jets
man.
legend Christian Hackenberg.
You opened up with Jets legend Vernon Golston, too.
I did. You don't listen. Don't. I think. Should we talk about Vladimir Dukas and how great that combine was?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, you know, the funny thing is the combine is going to mean everything and nothing all at the same time, right? For no-nothing guys like Earl, who they're going to see a 40 time and he's going to explode. Oh, this guy's so fast. I love the 40 time. And that's how he's going to make up his mind. He's an idiot, right?
Oh, boy.
But for certain other guys, it means everything, right? Because they're going to measure Will Campbell's arms. And that's going to make or break whether he's a top 5 pick, really, right? Because if he can play left tackle, if his arms are long enough, everyone basically agrees he could be a legendary left tackle. But if his arms are too short and they have to move him inside the guard, he's in the middle of the first round pick.
I mean, that's actually a guy, when you think about it, that is actually one of my picks I have the Jets could be interested in, because they would move him the right tackle with Fashanu at left tackle. And
right, but it all depends on his arm length.
Sure.
And that's where they're going to measure that kind of stuff, right?
No, 100%. I mean, I think it's like you said, it's little nuances like that, Jeff, that I think is intriguing. What I find to be fascinating, like, I don't know if you do it, you may do it. I don't have the time for it really with everything going with my kids and stuff, but it's like sitting in front of the TV and watching a combine. Like, can you really sit there all day and watch this from start to finish?
Of course not. Like,
yeah, okay.
But you want to know who
people
runs the fastest and things like that. Like, that part's fun.
Yeah.
Right?
No, like, I like the receiver, like the wide receiver part I like. I'm always intrigued by that. I would say probably for me, it's probably wide receivers, and I'd probably say defensive backs are my most intriguing ones I like the best. Because I'm very curious about reaction time with the DBs.
Right, but you let the numbers monkeys think about, like, because they're not just comparing these people in this draft. They're comparing them to all the people all time.
No, 100%. I agree. We joke about it, but I don't know if you would agree. Speedy thought it was funny too. If you look at Vernon Golson's combine numbers, they went down as one of the greatest combines in the history of football. And he was in a mitigated disaster.
Right, but there's always going to be guys like that, like the Mike Mamulas of the world.
Oh,
like, would he do the bench press like 35 times, and everyone's like, he's the strongest man alive, and then he was like the worst player ever.
Well, first off, we haven't talked in a while because I was away.
I know, yeah. I've been betting on darts. I won a couple of darts bets today, man. It's been a wild time.
I mean, I was in Orlando. I was at Disney World, so that was interesting.
You went to go see the mouse, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, as long as the kids had fun, right? That's the important thing. But
yeah, who cares?
Yeah, well, I know you don't care, but besides that.
Look, here's how I view that, right? Why would I want to have kids and have to clothe and feed some little idiot when I could use that money to gamble?
Well, I mean, listen, that's what you wanted. Listen, some people like it that way, others like it a different way. But be it as it may, you are a New York Met phenomenon now, and I know you texted me. You texted me right when the Mets signed Alonso. No joke, Speedy. He texted me right when Alonso signed, and I passed out. I was on the couch. I passed out, and then I got the text.
I have my notifications on for all Met signings.
He did. He texted me. The polar bear's back. So I mean,
our line of staff, best team in New York.
Well, are we a little worried about Manaea though in the injury?
Whose injury?
Manaea's. Sean Manaea's.
No. He's so ancillary, it doesn't matter. Even though Errol told you when he was a Yankee and the Yankees acquired him, greatest pitcher ever.
No,
whatever.
Was he ever on the Yankees?
I don't think so.
I don't think he was ever.
No. The Mets now have Yankees legend Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes.
No, didn't they trade for Sean Manaea at the deadline, and then he got hurt like 2
No, that's Frankie Montas.
That was Montas.
That was
now hurt on the Mets.
That's Montas. He's the other one that's hurt.
He's now also hurt.
They're dropping like flies right now, Jeff.
Yeah, that is what it is. Like, here's the thing. Even if the pitching sucks, every other team is still going to have to score 10 runs to beat us.
Listen, let's go. Are you excited about Bregman with the Red Sox?
No. What does that matter to me? I'm concentrating on Lindor at the top of the lineup, and then like McNeil, and then we go. Or is Soto going to bat second? I don't know. They're going to bat up second or third.
I think the lineup. I think the lineup's going to be. It's going to be Lindor. It should be, in my opinion, it should be Lindor, Soto. I would put Vientos third and Alonso fourth. That's what I would do.
Yeah, maybe. I
like Vientos a lot. I like him a lot.
Class act Juan Soto is by buying a fully loaded Chevy Traverse for Brett Beatty. No,
that was very kind of him to do that, and he didn't even have to do that, by the way. And how about Beatty? Beatty's hitting 750 this spring already. What's going on there?
But he's hitting off AA pitchers. Can we stop with the first inning? Don't do this.
All right. Goodbye, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon.
It's just one of those things like you don't know who the guys are hitting off of. These numbers really don't kind of matter really so much. Like, you want guys to be in good form, but I mean, does it really matter if you hit
No, but at least
750?
honestly, before we let you go and we get to our next topic, it is a nice thing though that he is at least hitting though. That's been his biggest problem.
Yeah, you want guys to, be able to see the ball and hit the ball and get the feel back, and you want them to be able to hit the ground running come, I don't know, is it March 1st or March 3rd or whatever the first day is, right? And you want them to be in good form. So, yeah, that part of it's fine. But, I mean, who's he really hitting off of? Some of these lineups, they're all so mixed and mingled with AAA guys and AA guys and some of these other kind of stuff that, I'm not so concerned with averages and things like that. I'm just concerned with having our core lineup together and healthy and going from there. I think we can really compete. I think the Phillies are overrated, right? And we're the best team in New York.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff, for calling.
Are we not the best team in New York? Who's better than us?
I'll talk to you next week, Jeff. Be good.
Think about this. The Yankees are in shambles, right? They just had to change their facial hair ban, the ban on facial hair. It only took one season of them to see what Alex Verdugo actually looks like for them to go, well, let's rethink this here. Let him go.
Goodbye, Jeff. We'll talk to you next week. Be good. Take care, buddy. I can't. He thinks that's the Alex Verdugo situation. He's funny. I'm surprised Arrow didn't walk in here when he said idiot. I was a little surprised. No, I was about to end the storm in and just take the reins and sit in that comfy chair that he's got now. Like, you know what it reminds you of when you see this chair now that he's in? I think of Game of Thrones.
Oh, he'd love that reference.
Oh my God, it's like he's like that. That's what it's like.
Errol loves all that stuff, so he would approve of that analogy.
But getting into I guess we're going to segue into the baseball situation quick. We've noticed a couple of things. So far, obviously, the Mets have had their injuries. The Yankees are trying to figure out the stuff with Stanton and what's going on there. A little bit of concern right now for both New York teams, I would say. For the Mets, the pitching, obviously. For the Yankees, trying to figure out the lineup situation. And then Dominguez, again, had a rough day in the field again today in left field. So it's a matter of I think the Yankees are trying to figure out left field or center field. Like, I understand you got Bellinger, right? Speedy, you got Bellinger. That's great. But I feel like as a veteran, if you asked him, hey, can you move to left field? So, like, because Dominguez is clearly more comfortable in center field, don't you think he would do it? Don't you? Why not?
To an extent, yeah. I just would worry if he's struggling left that he'd be able to play.
Because he's a natural center fielder, though.
I suppose, but still, it seems like an odd transition.
I mean, to me, I don't know. He dropped 2 balls today in the outfield again, and there is a lot of people that wrote today that they are concerned with the Dominguez situation. Then, of course, the Mets, they're starting pitching. Manaea's down, Montaz is down. It's almost like, what are you going to do at this point? They tried to get Dylan Cease. The Padres wanted everything and then some, and the Mets were like, no, we're not doing that. We're not giving you Acuna and Jet Williams for a rental. Like, we're not doing that. So, again, it's not even March yet. So we have to, I know, by the way, shout out to my wife for her birthday on Saturday. Going to be 34 years old. I know she didn't like that. I probably said that on the air, but she looks fantastic for 34. Happy birthday to her. Love her very dearly. To the mother of my 2 children, of course. But to me, it's not even March yet. And everybody is panicking and frustrated and annoyed and irritated that the Mets aren't making a move to get a pitcher. And the Yankees, what do we do with Stanton? He's going to be out for a while with these 2 elbow issues. What are we going to do with that? What's happening? And they didn't go out and get Bregman, and the Red Sox got it's just, there's a lot of complaining going on, but the season needs to start before we can get into any of that situation. I think that's something that I think a lot of people don't, usually Eric would be screaming at me, oh, you're talking about the Yankees like that and everything. But, to me, I think both teams are going to be fine. I think the Yankees are the best team in the American League, my opinion. I just don't know if there's another team that can compete with them, talent-wise. Speedy's trying to think about it because I see him, but there's not.
No, there isn't.
I mean, the only one I could think of, maybe if things stay right, because it is an odd number year, is the Texas Rangers, because there's a Bruce Bochy thing with the odd numbers with the championships. It's an odd year.
Their first 3 were even though.
Oh, well then it's every other year then.
If the every other year pattern goes,
Well, then it's every other year.
Yeah,
then.
I think they'll win the division, but I don't think they're better than the Yankees on paper.
Well, my opinion when I look at it in this perspective, I view it as I just don't know if the Guardians have completely dumped everything, which I don't know why. This is what they do. The Twins never beat the Yankees, so who cares? The Tigers haven't done anything to build off of last season's success. All the rumors they're going to get Bregman.
Don't worry, they have Yankees legend Gleyber Torres now.
Oh, that's right. They did, which I'm surprised the Yankees didn't just give him that contract. It was a 1-year deal for
Errol was saying the same thing.
For what, 1 year for $14 million?
Yeah, he was saying the same thing.
Like, do you honestly think that what you have in house is better than Torres? You gonna trust DJ LeMahieu? I mean, same thing with the Mets. The Mets should just bring back Quintana at this point.
They're gonna have to.
Why not? What are you waiting for? I know you don't want to. Like, you still have Senga, you still have Peterson, but it's Holmes has looked good so far, but you only could go so far.
That's the Clay Holmes experience. He's good for 2 months. Everyone thinks he's good, and
I'll take him. I'll take it for a month. I don't care. But to me, I think there's a lot of baseball misconceptions already going on with the New York teams. That there's problems. Yeah, it's frustrating, because you don't want Sean Manaea getting hurt, and you don't want Giancarlo Stanton getting hurt. But if Manaea comes back in April or May, he's healthy, and Stanton hits in the playoffs like he does every year, then everything's fine. It comes down to one guy for the Yankees. It's one guy. We know who that guy is.
The one that dropped the ball.
You said it, not me. Arson Judge. No, Aaron Judge. It comes down to Judge. And then for the Mets, it's, just, keeping the lineup. And I mean, you look at their line. I mean, they have power in that lineup, man. Between Lindor and Soto and Vientos and Alonso. And we don't even talk about Alvarez and everything. Like, they have power in that lineup to the point where it's like, wow, how, like, where does the slowdown begin? I don't know. We'll see. I look at it in this perspective of it's early in the year. Let's all settle down. Speaking of in the year, we get to basketball now. See, I get to all the topics when Eric's not here. That's like great, No, I miss Eric, of course. NBA, right? As a Knicks fan, we did not like how the weekend looked.
No.
The Boston game was brutal. The Cleveland game was worse.
Well, I was in Boston.
Did you go to the game?
No.
Oh, did you wear any Knicks gear?
No, I did not. But I saw enough people wearing. Actually, I saw some people actually in some Knicks gear, but I saw enough to know that was going on, and of course there was a lot of Celtics jerseys. I was at a arcade darts in a bowling place. So
yeah, I mean, to me, I look at the perspective of, if you're a Knicks fan, you're trying to figure out what are we? You're the 3 seed. You're the second. You're a second tier team. I think the tier 1s are OKC, Cleveland, and Boston. Right? That's tier 1. I think your tier 2s are the Knicks. I would say Memphis and Denver.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fine. We'll see. Mitchell Robinson's making his debut tomorrow. He'll be, and what really does stink is how Porty played yesterday really, really well, and now he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. After he played so well yesterday. And I was screaming to put him in over Sims for months. But Robinson's coming back at a good time. So he'll replace Porty pretty much with the team. Towns is playing. I don't understand the notion of Robinson off the bench. I think Robinson should be the 5, Towns should be the 4.
Agreed.
I don't understand why everybody's saying, and I think Hart should come off the bench.
Right.
I don't understand the notion of Robinson needs to come off the bench. Why? Why can't he play the 5 with Towns? Yeah. And then Towns isn't always in foul trouble then.
The Knicks are 27th or something in bench scoring right now. Like, why wouldn't Hart off?
I was going to say, do you really think Robinson's going to make it any better? Right. And also, we need to stop putting Towns on the 5, like Jokic. Correct. And those guys, because that's why he's always in foul trouble. If you put Robinson on him, makes it better. Better defender. You can make up for the blemishes that Towns does. I mean, look, I'm going to say it. Everybody's blaming Mikal Bridges for this Nick team, there's one guy that doesn't get any blame and it always gets deflected. How come, in my eyes, and I looked at the numbers this morning and I was shocked. How come Anunoby gets no blame? He can't shoot this year. He can't dribble the ball. He's a terrible ball handler. He doesn't drive to the basket. You see, his defense has not been anywhere near as good as it was last year. Why is he not getting any of the blame for any of the stuff? And he's making how much money? A lot.
Biggest contract on the team.
It's a lot of money. So to me, why is he not getting any of the blame? Why does Bridges get everything? Why? Because they traded for 5 first-round picks where they don't even. We all have to understand those first-round picks are, first off, they have attachments to them. That's number one. Number two, those kids are like junior high school kids right now. Please.
And number 3, the Nets will probably do something dumb with them down the road anyway.
Exactly. The Nets help every team in the league out. They help at least one team out in the league. It doesn't matter. But I think, I think the Knicks' depth issue is also a problem. I think Robertson coming back is going to help. Because I think that means you should put Hart off the bench, and then you could have Hart, McBride, Payne, and Achua off the bench. That's doable, I think, in winning. I think Hart belongs on the bench more anyway. He's not a starter. I know he's having a nice season, but he's not a starter. So I think that needs to be done. I mean, look, to me, what Cleveland's doing this year is absolutely out of this world. It's incredible what they're doing. Kenny Atkinson, I wanted him. I wanted him. I think, again, the Brooklyn Nets fired him because they let Kevin Durant hire Steve Nash. Great. Idiots. And that is what we call not helping a small local business, Speedy. That is the problem. But to me, I view the whole situation and scenario for Knicks fans as saying that this is a tough season for them right now. They're the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference by a mile. Like, they're going to – now, do you want to get concerned if they play a team like Detroit or somebody in the first round? It could get a little bit hairy and dicey there because Detroit's giving the Knicks fits this year and Cunningham's playing out of control this year. But I think they should still be able to get past the first round. I think second round exit. That's where I think the Knicks are at.
Probably.
I think they lose to Boston. That's just where I think it's going to be. And that's fine. And it is, you know what? Honestly, it is what it is. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about that. But I just feel the Knicks, they don't have enough depth on their bench. And I think next year they'll learn. But they got to figure out the cap situation now too next year because they're already at what tier are they? The second tier?
Yeah.
So they got to figure out the cap situation with where they are. But I think Cleveland, Boston, I think OKC's going to the finals in the Western Conference. You want to say maybe Memphis can give them a series? I don't know. I don't know if anybody in the West can beat them. You're going to say the Lakers?
Well, you never know. But
I mean,
LeBron could get the refs on his side.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron and Luka can do it together and everything like that. But I mean, the Rockets are, but they're not as good.
No, they're probably in a much lower.
And then right
tier.
now in the East, I think it's the Celtics and the Cavs, and the Knicks are close.
Yeah, the Knicks, the East is real top heavy. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's literally the top. It's literally the Cavs, Celtics, and the Knicks, and then it's everybody else. Detroit, Indiana. Who else am I forgetting? That's another interesting one. Actually,
Orlando, I guess.
Orlando, I guess, because they got everybody back.
If they get healthy,
they got Banchero back, but they lost Wagner
Right.
for the year,
Correct.
which is a killer. I don't know. I find the whole. I think the West is. It's almost pretty set. That's the problem with the NBA. It's almost pretty much set at this point. Well, I have to say, I said it was going to be a kind of a quickie show tonight, but we got a lot of stuff in. We're not done yet, so have you're better than that and everything of that nature. By the way,
breaking news.
No, especially you asked me how my trip was.
I did it in the car.
That's not the show.
You were explaining your son definitely did like a lot of things there, and you showed me videos as well of his reactions.
Yeah. We I tell you what, my wife said to me after the trip, we are not going back until both the kids are self-sufficient and they can wipe their own butt. So was a great trip. Thank you, my parents, for the hospitality, of course, and helping out so much. They did a lot with watching the kids and helping everything. Yeah, Caleb wants to go back already. I said, no, not happening yet. Can't happen yet. We need to breathe. I need a vacation from my vacation. After that, we drove down there in the Ford Explorer. It was very nice. 3 rows. Nice car. Avis. It was good. Thank you, Avis. But it was a good time. Just to see him happy and my wife, this was her first time at Disney World, so she had never been there, and I hadn't been there in 12 years. So everything has changed. The way you do, you're literally like when you're walking, like you're on your phone constantly to check the lightning lanes. Okay, so you use this lightning lane already for the fast pass, which it's called lightning lane now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you get to use another one now. Okay, you use that one, you get to use another one, but you gotta see what's open. Oh, is it in this time? Is it in this time? Does it do it? It was like so stressful at times. And it shouldn't have been. But I did Rise of the Resistance, Star Wars, which was incredible. Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster at Epcot was great. Was fantastic. Magic, everything was great. We did the after hours, and let me tell you something. After 8 o'clock, when the fireworks go, when the fireworks show's over, that Magic Kingdom empties out. By 10 o'clock, it's a ghost town in that place. It was nobody there. Like we were doing walk-ons for all the rides, and Caleb hung to around 12:15, 12:30. He did pretty good for a 3-year-old.
Yeah,
I'd say he did pretty good. I was tired. My wife. We walked right on Space Mountain.
Yeah,
it was a walk-on. We literally walked. There was nobody there.
Oh yeah, I did that with my high school trip there. One of our band trips. The group I was in probably went on Space Mountain like 7 times in a row.
Oh, I mean, it's literally like Epcot to me. But Hollywood Studios is really good now. I think adding Toy Story and adding Star Wars,
that'll do it.
Lands, I think were a great idea to do the expansion. Now they're going to do the Monsters Inc. stuff, and I can't wait to go to Universal and do the Epic Universe amusement park. It's the first brand new amusement park to be built in North America since 2001. I mean, the lands are. I mean, you got what Super Nintendo World. I think I told you that they got the Dark Universe one with all the classic monsters from Universal, like Frankenstein and Dracula and the werewolf. How to Train a Dragon, Harry Potter. It looks incredible. I mean, it really looks. I mean, Disney's gonna take a hit when that opens up in I think May. They're gonna take a hit, big time. That's when you should go. When Epic Universe opens up for Universal, that's when you should go to Disney because it'll be dead. There'll be nobody there. I tell you what, though, seriously, Animal Kingdom, too much construction going on.
Oh,
too much going on.
That.
They closed the whole Dino Land area. Wow. There was nowhere to walk. You can't walk anywhere. Everything's so everywhere. Like Magic Kingdom, it's huge. Epcot, it's spacious. Animal Kingdom, it's so narrow. There's nowhere to. That's my one complaint, I guess. Well, listen, I mean, I mean, also my parents, they were at Port St. Lucie today.
Checking out some New York Mets.
And, I've never been. As surprising as that is, I've never been to spring training for the Mets. I know, right? I've never been to spring training for the New York Mets. Speedy's surprised by that.
With how much your parents, it seemed like are in Florida.
No, I have never stepped foot at Port St. Lucie before. Ever. I know. The goal, I'd like to at some point. Caleb's going to his first Ranger game on Monday. I will not be going. I was invited to go. My wife's taking him.
So
with my sister-in-law and I was invited to go. I said no.
They've been so dead to you this year. How they played.
I said, first off, 1, they're playing the Islanders. 2, they've disappointed me to the point of where I'm just disgusted, even though Optimum is back for me. And 3, it's a Monday night. I got work the next day.
Right.
Well, I guess. What, did anybody catch that?
I hope not.
I hope not either, but that's a great time to end our show. And that is a You're Better Than That moment. My You're Better Than That is this. We need to stop, excuse me. We need to stop hating on the NHL at times with everything that's going on, because the Four Nations tournament was successful. It was fantastic. So a great job by them. And people always make fun of hockey. They don't watch it. They don't like, well, how come you're all watching the tournament then? The ratings were great. So everybody that makes fun of the NHL, you're better than that. Speedy, what's yours?
This will be fun.
Other than Errol.
No, I was going to consider that, but I'll just harp on all the Jets talk from earlier. Shout out to the only owner that got an F on the NFLPA ratings scale, Mr. Woody Johnson.
Wow.
You're better than that. Only owner that got an F.
Let me tell you something. I never got an F in school. There's a lot to get an F in school. Well, we usually do the sign off. We just do the Worldwide Sports Right Network, but we have didn't do one last thing. Condolences to Al Trautwig.
Oh yeah. Yes.
When you grew up watching Knicks Rangers, that's who I always saw on my television. Even when the Knicks were so bad with Marbury and Steve Francis and Eddie Curry and those, but you always saw Al Trautwig, and that's the face that was Mr. MSG for how many years? He did the Olympics. Fun fact about him: I don't know if you do this, Meet the Parents, the volleyball scene in the pool.
Oh my God.
That's at Al Trautwig's house.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. So, to me, like I said, I always grew up watching with the Knicks and the Rangers and all that, but Al Trautwig was always the guy at the pregame, the postgame. But also look at the guys that he also helped mentor: Alan Hahn, Michael Kay, Bruce Beck, other guys that are out there in the sports industry today that he helped mentor. It's a big deal, and he was a very selfless person, very great guy. Is everything that I've heard. I never got a chance to meet him, but he really was a special, unique talent because he was able to do different things. Like I said, from the MSG to the Olympics, he would do any sport in the Olympics. Water polo, you would see him doing water polo.
I
at
remember
times.
that.
Or the bobsledding, and you would see him announcing it in the studio, and it would be like. So that was condolences to his family, his loved ones, of course. Very sad. We didn't hear anything about it. Passed away at 68, very young, which is crazy as well. But we were getting to, before we signed off tonight, we did have we usually do that, but we're gonna play a little song for you. But before we go, and before we do that, you have it ready, right, Speedy? And at the time and everything, check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com, YouTube, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Did I get it all?
On the podcast network, on the audio end, you got it. We also have a new video for Job on the Mouth as well as a new video podcast feed on Spotify as well.
Oh, look at that. We got to get that for game on. We got to get one of those.
All right.
We'll try to figure that out. Check out all the great shows like Job in the Mouth, of course, Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30. Check us out Game On Thursdays at 6 o'clock, amongst other shows. And, of course, the Weekend Crunch with Errol and Speedy at
7 p.m. for the rest of the year. There's no more Islander games. So either will be like right after the games because either a day game whenever that would finish or
there you go.
Or they're playing like not on Saturday or a day game. So
well, like I said, we want to do a little tribute for Gene Hackman, and for those they will know this movie. But before we go, of course, thank you so much for listening and watching us here live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. For Eric Bowe, for Speedy Petey, I'm Josh Silberg. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. This has been Game On the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We'll talk to you next week.